Hello, this is Joy, and today I am going to share my 23 lessons by 23. So the first thing is putting your attention towards the right people. Sometimes we're focused on people who are actively in our lives or is closest in proximity to us. And in these settings, you may not feel loved or cared for, but that's because you feel lonely when you're trying to get attention from a source that was never meant for you or that you have never fostered. And instead, you should be putting a lot of that attention and care towards people who have always been there for you. It's even if they're not people who interact with daily, but they're people who you know will show up for you, and you have to also trust that they are there. And so when you start kind of having a smaller circle of people that you care about and that you know cares about you, then you're constantly reminded that you're loved and you'll feel less lonely. And the second thing is the world is your oyster, and perspective changes everything. The world is dynamic, it's diverse, it's open-minded, and it's innovative. And we don't realize that until we go and take a look around. Go travel somewhere new, go hang out with a new group of people, and it will show you that your perspective is only one way of doing or seeing something. For example, when I went back to China, I realized how convenient life can be. And I also realized that the culture of Asia is very helpful. Everyone was really willing to lend me a hand. Because I was a foreigner, there were a lot of instructions or things I didn't know how to do, and people were just so willing to be there and to help me. And on top of that, the healthcare in China made me realize how effective and cheap it can be, even for a mass population. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it was a new perspective that I didn't get before. And then when I was in Japan and I went outside of the major cities, I realized how simple and straightforward life can be, and how happy people were with the little things, and how a different pace and routine might actually be a good thing. Not everything needs to be fast-paced, not everything needs to be a hustle. And it was just so fulfilling to see how different people live their lives and see the possibilities from the lens of someone else. And I guess that kind of leads me to number 3, which is at the end of the day, people care about you. People care about your character, your humor, how you make them feel, and not necessarily what you do. Of course, in our career, that might feel like that's the case. But when you meet people, when you're traveling and you meet people in different communities, whether that's a sport you like to play or a hobby you partake in, you'll realize that people care about what you're interested in and about how well they get along with you and how happy they're with you and how fun it can be to be with you. And that's what matters. And number 4, which also ties into this theme, is that inspiring people and inspiring stories are everywhere. You just have to go out and look for it. And you'll realize that it's all around us. Sometimes we're very focused on our day-to-day and how we live. But when we take a look around, we might actually be inspired by the stories. We just have to take the time to go and look outside of our own day-to-day. And number 5, for someone who was in business school, corporate doesn't define your success. People are paving their own paths, and if anything, that is more bold to not know what's next and to take the untraditional route. And so there's so many different ways that success can be defined, and it's so unique to each person. You do not have to feel restricted by one identity. And number 6, speaking of not being restricted by one identity, not being restricted by your age. There is truly no age to be anything. It is actually all around us, but sometimes we don't realize it. Some of the most inspiring people that you may look up to, have very unique backstories. They might have started out way later in their lives. For example, some of the actresses and actors I really like, they debuted in their first film at the age of 27 or like 40. And it just shows that people are on their own timelines, their own plot, and there is really no time to be anything. You can go and change a career, you can pivot, you can try something new, as long as you believe in yourself and you put in the work to get there. And it looks very different for everyone. Your story is not going to be the same as someone else's story. Just because they were successful at 25 does not mean that you will not be successful later on. Just because someone is better than you at a certain skill does not mean that you will not equally be as good in that skill as you keep going on your own path. And that is just to say that it is not defined, so do not let age define you. Number 7, health is wealth. Time and time again, I come back to this because without my health, I cannot do anything. It is the foundation of my lifestyle, of my relationships, of my friendships, and of my love for myself and my career. There is nothing more valuable than investing in your self-care, in your self-love, and in your self-growth. And this can be done in so many ways. For example, prioritizing your fitness, your nutrition, your rest, the people that you hang out with matters, people in your circle, the energy you're getting from them, and your environments. It is also the little things like taking your vitamins, sleeping 8 hours a day, having lemon water in the morning. These things may be minor, but it accumulates and it really, really makes a difference to your health. And number 8, what you love will always call for you. When I went back to China last year, I got the privilege to go bouldering, to play tennis, to go wake surfing, to go dirt biking, and running around the city. And I realized that my passion for sports never eluded me. I never felt as alive as I did indulging in sports. And that showed me that the athletic spirit within me never died. Sports is a lifelong hobby that continues to bring me joy and happiness. And it has always given me some of the greatest lessons like perseverance, diligence, and practice. And recently, when I got to ski in the mountains back home, I realized how much I loved it. So knowing this, I am going to make a commitment to myself to never let go of sports, even when life feels busy, even when it feels like there's a lot of priorities to balance. Because it is so, so important to always find time for the things that you love. Number 9. Sometimes you have to step outside of your own world to embrace it again. But if you can, embrace it all the time. I grew up in Vancouver and I spent my summers going hiking. I get to run alongside the water and I have the beautiful mountain as my backdrop every single day. But I never realized how beautiful it is until I went back to China and I saw the mountains there. I saw the most beautiful mountainscapes and my heart will feel so, so full. And it would just make me feel like I'm the luckiest girl alive. To be able to witness something that granular, something that spectacular, I was just in awe. But little did I know that this feeling of the mountains hugging me, it came from a place of feeling like home. It brought me so much comfort, coziness, and warmth. And that made me realize how much I appreciate growing up in Vancouver. And recently, when I had the chance to go back to Vancouver again, the mountain was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And I wish I appreciated it more. Number 10. Kind people are everywhere. It is easy to feel helpless sometimes, but if we take a look into our daily lives, we will realize that we have a lot of people in our community and even strangers that are willing to help us throughout our day. And I never felt that as much as when I traveled. There were people who guided our path, gave us instructions. There were store owners that gave us a free meal, gave us a warm home, and there were people who sang with us, who played music with us, and it was just so lovely. They made our journey more fun and worthwhile. And people at home would check in on us, and strangers online would give us recommendations. And so if you take an extra look, you'll realize that love and kindness is everywhere. We just have to put our attention towards the little acts of kindness. Number 11, having faith. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back. There has been so many times when opportunities came my way, and in the moment I couldn't make sense of it, but it has led me to an adventure, to meeting someone that I really care about, to helping me find a new career opportunity. And talking about dots, number 12, not everything has to be connected. Just because you did bad at work today does not mean that you cannot go and have a fun night with your friends, or that you don't deserve to have a heartwarming meal. Don't punish yourself, because we don't want to draw associations with different aspects of our lives that can thrive on their own. You enjoying your time where you're having fun, you enjoying a good meal, you going traveling, those are separate than how you're doing and performing in your career and at your work. Of course, work hard, but don't tie the things together. You deserve everything. Even if you did not accomplish your goal, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be with the people that you love. But of course, always stay balanced with the different aspects of your life. Number 13, invest in your safety, in your security, and in your well-being so that you can go and take on more risk and be more bold. For solo travelers, that could mean buying a train ticket for the morning, not landing when it's midnight and when it can be more dangerous. It could be getting a better luggage so that it won't break in the middle of the trip and you don't have to drag it all along. And for your home, it could mean getting a security camera for the door so that when you come home in the evening, you do not feel scared. Or like investing in a camera for your car so that when you do get into an incident, you know exactly what happened. Number 14, having a small circle of friends that care about you is all that you need. There are people in your lives who have been there time and time again, and life gets busy, and it's hard to make time for your friends all the time. However, always make time to check in on people that you love, especially when they're not in the same city. Make it a commitment to let them know that you care, and let them know that you're there for them if they need you. Don't neglect the people close to you. but also be realistic. Help them understand you. Tell them how you feel and tell them what you're going through. Always, always have open and honest communication with people that you love so that you can understand each other better. Number 15, tell people that you love them as much as you can. Whether that is during a holiday that they celebrate, during their birthday, or if something reminds you of them. For example, if you're scrolling through your photo album and you see a memory of you guys together, when you see the picture, you can send it to them and just let them know that you're thinking of them. For me, sometimes I suck at calling my mom and I just genuinely forget sometimes. And so I actively make an effort to schedule time within my week. I have it scheduled in my calendar to call her so that she always feels loved by me. And the reason for this is, I read this somewhere, I'm not sure where, but as you get older, especially after your 20s, you have less and less time with the people that you love. The scale drops exponentially. By the time that you're in your 20s, you have actually spent majority of the time with your family. So whenever you can, cherish it. Cherish all the moments that you can have with them. Be in the moment, show your love, and do not hold back. And 16. This one is a bit hard for me, so I'm going to read what I wrote on my notes. Forgive yourself. I still cry thinking about this sometimes because it hurt me for so long, when I blame myself for things that happened in the past. I felt like I hurt people unintentionally when I was in high school and doing my extracurriculars. I wanted to make a social impact, I was so passionate, and I was hardworking. But I was also tough, and I was less empathetic. It's easy to say in retrospect, but it was a lesson I had to learn, and I cannot keep blaming myself for something that is a part of growing up and maturing. Similarly, when my grandpa died, I was depressed and anxious. I would shut down and I would spiral. During this time, I would skip out on hangouts, I would not know how to be there for my friends, and in turn, some of them didn't feel like I was present. Truth is, I probably wasn't always present. But I have to recognize that I'm going through my own internal conflicts, and I had an overwhelming family dynamic to deal with. It was hard. I wish someone was there for me. I wish someone was there to tell me it's okay. It's not my fault. It's a part of life. It's not your fault. You don't have to punish yourself. The younger versions of you are still inside of you. Protect them, shelter them, and have empathy towards them. Because if you don't understand them and forgive them as someone who is constantly with them, then how can they feel like other people do? Let go. You did your best. Love yourself, because now you know. Number 17, learning how to prioritize different aspects of your life. It doesn't have to look like every day you do X, Y, and Z. Sometimes you have to put extra time towards a task and it can't be done within just one day. For example, if you're learning a new skill like drawing or building a website, you're gonna have to put an extended amount of dedicated time towards it. And so balance doesn't mean having to do everything all at once. Sometimes you have to go all in one area. But what you need to remember is that you need to always find time for the breaks, find time for the downtime, find time for the things that you love. So it could mean that you're focused and concentrated on something for hours on end, for days on end, but by the end of that break, you should go out there, spend time with your friends, do something that you love, take care of yourself, go for a walk, have that balance. 18, we're almost there. Fake it until you make it. No one actually knows more than you do. Everyone just has a different basket of knowledge that they know. But your advantage is always going to be the unique set of skills that you bring to the table and the extra color that you have in your personality. And then it's just about if it's the other person's cup of tea. And if it's not, then go somewhere else. Go find another table, find someone else that will enjoy what you have to offer. It does not mean that you're valued less. So always put yourself out there and just fake it until you make it, because someone is going to value you. Number 19, less is more. Quality over quantity, and not everything all at once. I always hear this, but I'm just a lover of things, of experiences, of people, and of life. I don't like the idea of consciously choosing less. I like the idea of abundance and always capturing more of it. I also love fancy things and funky things. I'm not really a minimalist. I'm more of a maximalist. I like color, I like bold accessories, I like accent pieces. And so I didn't like this idea that less is more. I wanted more. But now I interpret this as just being intentional with the things that you choose to keep in your life and the different aspects of your life. Think through why you want it. If this is something that is meaningful to who you are or is meaningful towards who you want to become. For example, is this jewelry going to be something that's going to be in my capsule for a long time? Or is it going to be something that I wear once and throw away? And will the quality of the piece deteriorate over time, or is it something that is sustainable? And in your career and at work, it could mean, does this project align with the kind of work I want to be creating, with the kind of work style that I have? Do I have to try out this hobby right now? Or can I focus on the hobbies and interests that I have now, that I want to cultivate, and then take on something new when I have more time? Or when I actually feel like it's something that I want to do, and not something that someone else is telling me to do? When you think about taking on something new, think about the work and the activities that you have already committed yourself to. Everything that you own in your life requires maintenance. Everything that you own in your life requires maintenance and care. And so the more precious things that you own, the more precious things that you have to keep up. Be very intentional about how you preserve the things that you love while finding new things. Number 20, spend more time in nature. It is a blessing that the world is so beautiful, that Earth is so beautiful. Before we had all this technology in our lives, the infrastructure, the systems, the world was already full of abundance. The reflection of the sun in the water, the ombre in the sky, the birds chirping, the soft grass you can lie on, the tiny waves that rushes by your feet on the beach, the light blow of wind when you run, the way that the trees provide shadow for you, the colorfulness of the natural landscape. No wonder people took inspiration from nature, from the mountains, from the water, from the trees in their poems and in their paintings. It even gives us great lessons. We have a lot of metaphors to do with nature. And so there is so much to take away if we just embrace it a little longer. And the last 3 is about hope. I think that if there is something about me that has never changed, and that is my fighting spirit, is that I am innately hopeful. I believe that there is so much to how the world works that we may not understand, but if we embrace it, it will embrace us. And so, lesson 21, love yourself. People say this all the time, but we always end up putting ourselves down. Sometimes even hating ourselves and putting ourselves down before we realize that that isn't the way forward. Because we are with ourselves for life. And in that sense, we're another person in our lives too. You treat your closest friends with grace, you give them the benefit of the doubt, you accept their flaws, but why can't you do that for yourself? Why are you taking yourself out of this equation? You love them for who they are. Why can't you do the same for yourself? You love your favorite cities, your favorite film, your favorite scenery because it makes you happy. It doesn't have to have another reason, because you can resonate with it, because you can see the beauty within it. And so why can't you see the beauty within yourself? Why can't you love you for who you are? You share the beauty of the world with you. You live with you. Everything you have ever experienced, you've experienced with yourself. You have taken care of yourself more than anyone could. You are where you are because you made it possible. And so why can't you give yourself more credit? There are so many things that are outside of our control. There are so many times that we feel helpless. But the one thing that we can do is that we can take care of ourselves. We can love ourselves and we can take care of ourselves. You are the person that can take action for yourself. You're the person who can defend yourself. You're the person who you can rely on 100%. And so please, please, please embrace that. You're the most powerful person for yourself. And to end off, when you take away the setting of where you are and what you're doing, all that is left is your experiences and your memories. And so it is your job to make yourself feel beautiful, to feel worthy, to feel loved. You are a kind and good person, so direct that energy back towards yourself. Give yourself compliments that you deserve. Give yourself a nice meal that you deserve. Give yourself the attention that you deserve. Everything that you can give to someone that you love, you should give to yourself. And now, lesson 22. There's always answers available and accessible to you. You're never alone. And when you do feel alone, search a little harder. I feel this sometimes when I am at home from a long day and I feel very disconnected from reality. I feel very disconnected from the outside world and I just feel exhausted. And during those times, I feel very lonely. During these times when we're physically isolated or we're mentally not at the right place, it might feel like there is nothing. It can feel like we have nothing, and it can feel like we're stuck, and it can feel numb. How do we go forward? What is out there? That can feel like a very, very hard question to answer. But the truth is, we will find our way if we look. Look, and you shall find. You have to put yourself out there in ways that make sense to you. There is an abundance, but you have to take that first step to go and look for it. You have to trust that you're not alone and that the world supports you. So this is the final lesson, lesson 23. People love you. For whatever reason, sometimes this is hard to see, but people love you. You're loved way more than you know. You have to believe that there's people out there that resonate with you. People who have experienced similar things to you. People who have empathy towards you. People who will listen to you. People who will understand you. there's going to be people who have the same dreams as you. There's going to be people who are inspired by you. And to end this off, please know that there is love out there for you. Okay, and so before the day gets dark, that is my 23 lessons by 23. And if you're new here, I am also new to this, and I don't know what videos to make. So please, if you watch till the end of this video, tell me what other videos that you will want me to make and any other stories you will want me to tell. Thank you.